Okay, for the first one here, I like to clean up what I call these double signs. I think they're really confusing when they're plus minus like right next to each other. So I kind of go backwards through leave change opposite and say, well, I really have f minus 4 because then if I were to leave change opposite, I'd wind right back up where I started. So I'm just going to rewrite that. These are the exact same thing. It just is a little bit easier for me to deal with when I don't have double signs. So now my equation is f minus 4 equals negative 12. I'm going to draw my river. And what do I want to get by itself? The f. So how am I going to get rid of minus 4? I add 4. I'm trying to get a 0 there. Whatever I do on the left side, I've also got to do on the right. You had to show this on both sides or it wasn't shown correctly. All right, luckily for us, minus 4 and plus 4 cancel out, so I'm left with f. I still have an equals. And now I do the math here. The signs are different, so I'm going to find the difference. So 12 and 4, when I subtract, I get an 8, and it's going to keep the sign of the bigger number, which is negative. So now I've set up pretty much the entire check for you. All you really had to do is just plug this in right here and make sure that it works. So in place of the f with our parenthetical promise, we have parentheses. I'm going to put in a negative 8. And now I actually do the work. So a negative 8 plus a negative 4, the signs are the same. So I add them and I keep the sign. And now I check to make sure that that does in fact equal what's on the other side, and it does. Coming down here, I'm going to draw my river. And I ask myself, well, how can I get a coefficient of 1? What can I do to get rid of this division? And the answer is multiplication. Now, if I multiply just by 5, these are not going to fully cancel out because this is a negative 5. So in order to cancel it out, I've got to multiply by negative 5. And then I do the same thing over here. If you want to put a 1 underneath it, I think that's helpful just to remind you of why this works. So this top number cancels out with that bottom number. And now I'm left with y over 1, which is just the same thing as y. And a positive 8 times a negative 5 is a negative 40. So now I just plop it in to my parenthetical promise. I put in a negative 40, and negative 40 divided by negative 5, the signs are the same. If you think of your integer fox, the signs are the same. We're left with a positive 8, which is exactly what I had on the other side. So I expect to see all of these steps in your corrections.